Heavenly Father, we come before you today to do the county's business. We ask that you be with us as we do so. I want to thank you for all the guests that you brought with us today. I ask that you be with them as they leave when they go today. Protect those that protect us here and around the world, and keep them safe. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
This time, any person with business before the court not scheduled on the agenda may speak to the court. No formal action will be taken at this time. On these items at this meeting, each speaker will be limited to 3 minutes.
I do. I know we've been discussing for quite a while the annex building and the issues we have going on down there. Just as an update, we have the orange crew down there stripping the flooring, getting it ready for the towel, which will come in pretty soon. But we still have issues with the break room. I know there was some misunderstanding. We do not want a drop-in stove. We want a cheap stove that can slide in whatever, just like a regular apartment household stove to, so we can warm our food. You know, we have nothing in that building right now other than a microwave and city water. It's been a month or more since we've had any RO drinkable water. We've been having to buy bottled water just for the employees. We have 9 county employees in that building, plus 6 to 10 at any given time with MHMR, which is the break room as well. I know we got a quote of who we were advised to get a quote from that was too high. Understand that. We got another quote from a gentleman that has done quality work for the county. I know he's done work at the library. He's done work at the health unit. And that was a turnkey quote. We would not have to do anything. County employees would not have to do anything. Plumbing, electrical, everything would be taken care of in that one quote, which was written. We've discussed amongst ourselves, like we did when we refurbished the building last year, of repainting everything. That came out of our budgets. We didn't ask the county for any money above and beyond what we had in our budgets to work with. And, with the three department heads that we have here, we would like to make that same offer. We would take a portion of our budgets towards that if the county would meet us partway
To pay for
to
this.
finance
To
that bid.
Is this guy
We
electrician?
can't discuss it right now.
Okay, thank y'all for the
Yes,
opportunity.
this-
I want to turn it over to Ms.
To
Webb.
answer your question, he is an electrician. He would put in the 220, he would raise the plugs, because if the plugs aren't raised, they will all be down behind the cabinets. He will clear out everything that's in there. I don't know, and Joe don't know, we don't know how to pick out cabinets. We don't even know what to look for. And, we'd like to use this guy, and we will help out with our budgets if y'all would consider that. I did send this to all of y'all, so every one of you should have it. So if you would just consider that, letting us help with our budget, if you think this is too high to just come out of capital improvement.
All right, thank y'all.
Just an update on the fueling station, Judge. I sent an email to Scott that is over the project and one that won the bid. And they were supposed to have poured the cement last Thursday. And something happened. He didn't explain it, but he said something did happen. They do have all the gravel in. That they're gonna pour the cement this Thursday. They think they'll have all the drop-ins. They'll test the pumps, pressurize them, get all the air lines. And they said by the 25th that it should be back open.
Okay.
And I sent that email to you.
Thank you. All right. We'll go ahead and move on to presentation and discussion, department head, committee, and board reports. You have them all listed there: county welfare, EMS, health unit, JP1, library, senior center, wildlife services, and youth center.
The golf course has lots of hogs. I can't imagine.
Yeah.
I guess the creek. Looks like everybody's busy. Figured that Jason would be here this morning and he would talk to us.
Yeah, he had the training he had to attend.
I got you. Next time.
Thank you for that report.
Yes, sir.
That's good. And thank you for yours. And yours. I appreciate those.
You should have gotten an email yesterday.
Did.
Okay.
Yes.
By the way, we've been working down there with all those guys there doing all that. We've still been in there working, so.
Yeah.
Just saying, it's not a vacation.
I knew it wasn't, but I'm glad you said so. Okay, any thoughts, discussion on board reports, department reports? Okay. We'll move on to approval of previous court minutes.
I didn't see anything real close.
They're in the box. You weren't here this morning, so I'll put them in the box.
Okay. I saw an envelope in there, but I didn't see that.
Does I make a motion to approve the previous court minutes as presented? Second.
All in favor? Okay. Interprecinct project schedule and status.
Made note.
Not near enough moisture to get through all of them.
No,
Well, with all that rain,
You would think that we it dried out pretty quick.
imagine it
I
did.
know some guys sowing wheat, they quit. 'Cause
Dried
that
up.
8 inches is gone.
Yes.
Wow.
The purple sages are blooming, so maybe it's coming again.
I hope so. We need it.
we will go ahead and move into new business. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing for the ROE Futures LLC abatement agreement.
What are they doing?
They are building a building, and I usually have that in here. Let me,
Very large building,
yeah, it's,
mechanic shop, offices, 86 workers, I think. If I remember correctly.
so there had to be a change on it. So the cities, not gonna be able to do theirs until the first, of the month, of October. So, we're gonna go ahead and if we approve it today, we'll talk about it today, but if we approve it today, it needs to be in such a way that, it's dependent on what the city does. But looking at what they're doing, the city, we follow along with the city on theirs, like, hospital and college follow us. So if we do the abatement, it would be, a 10-year on theirs. And
So that's the change, because it wasn't 10 years.
right, it was 4 years, so it would be a 10-year. The city does a 10-year, following theirs, we do. Typically what the city does.
That's what they
Yeah,
have decided on.
yeah, the city decided on a 10-year. Open this. And he did resubmit that change. I don't know that this is a document that has it. But this is local people. This is the first application for local that I've seen. So in their application, it's a new facility. It will be built out at, the,
Oh, it's Syntax.
yes, Syntax Park over by the tower. Lot 10, Block B, Snyder, Texas Park 1 Edition. New office building, that's 2,500 square feet. New shop building, 4,800 square feet. Total value is $750,000 after they get it built. Like I said, they originally requested 4 years, but our guidelines, city's guidelines show 10-year, and like I said, we follow along typically with the cities. That's the building, and
What are the abatement payments gonna be?
not asking for a pilot on this one.
Is it 100%?
100% the first,
For 10 years?
let me see if I can find that. No, I don't believe it's 10 years. One through 4 years is 100%, 5 through 6 is 90, 7 through 10 would be 80.
What's the value? 750?
750.
Isn't that gonna set a precedent for everybody else?
Yeah, for locals, and that's kind of the idea on this. Now, if it was, most of the ones that have come through before have been hundreds of millions in value. This one's 750,000. It's a property that's, or a business that is smaller, And so I would be okay personally with not setting a pilot payment and 1 through 4, 100%, 5 through 6, 90%. It helps them get established. These big ones, they're established. The smaller ones, yeah. And I would hope that more locals would come and ask us for them this way too. It's something that is not on the books now as far as value. So.
Was it 86 people that they're hiring, that they're looking to hire?
10.
10 extra? I mean, there's no way that 10 people can run a business that size.
Yeah,
Mechanics.
that's what he's showing. Projected number of new jobs created.
Oh, over and above what he already has.
Yeah, because I saw something on the roads, like a lot more important than I thought it was.
I thought I saw the total employment was like 86.
So after the 10 years, it would build a full taxable value.
Yes, sir. And at that time, any showing property improvements, estimated value of eligible property would be 800,000. And the way values go up, you can see it being more in 10 years. Did you figure what the taxes would be?
75,000 and 150,000. So 5 to 6 years, 75,000, 7 to 10 years, 150,000. And it's a local, it's not a
And
wind farm.
he's got one of the owners that has got 60 years of
Business.
experience. Family experience in this. I think that's the only way we're gonna get new businesses here, is to help them get started.
Is this gonna be in addition to their current business that they already have? Is it something
I
separate
think right now
from?
they're leasing a property, and so they're wanting to build this property so they can move to
permanent
it.
place?
Yes, ma'am. Any more discussion in the public hearing? Okay, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing at 10:17. All right, now we'll discuss and consider the tax abatement agreement with ROE Futures LLC.
We can make a motion that we allow, ROE to have the tax abatement requested, first 4 years at 100, next 4 years at 90, and next two at 80. Is that right?
That's
5
4
and 6
to,
at 90,
Okay.
7 through 10 at 80.
And, that they, as long as it goes along with what the city has proposed. So,
All in favor?
Is this is that in the packet or
It's not, but I will get it to
just
you.
email? Okay.
I don't know why I missed that one. Okay, yeah, we'll talk about the ball field concession stands in use. Matt came to me with some issues with the concession stands, and this, I was a parent working in the concession stands, and it's, the way that it's set up in Little League, I don't know about the other leagues, and we have some visitors, that I'm gonna ask to help, discuss this with us. I know with Little League, it's basically a team has a night and they work concessions unless it's changed. Who's with you? Okay. Whoever's working, whatever team it is, they have parents that volunteer to work concessions that night. Most don't know much about concessions, but they learn on the job. Is anybody here with softball or boosters or, okay. Also, y'all are for both?
Yes, she's from the league. I'm with the high school booster.
Okay,
And I can kind of speak on Little League. He couldn't be here today,
okay.
so.
Okay. So when Matt went in there, he found out that there were some issues. And I know those change hands a lot. The leagues change presidents and whatnot. And I think this is kind of a failing on all of us. So there were some electrical issues that are getting taken care of as far as the service. However, one of the issues was that the air conditioner had been disconnected and a fryer had been connected in the panel. Not saying who did that because we have no idea who did that. There's some things, the Little League hood needs to be cleaned. Extension cords can't be used for permanent wiring. Due to the amount of current they pull, they are a considerable fire hazard when used on refrigerators. This report is from the fire marshal, by the way. Can't use a multi-plug. Of course, cover's missing, that's ours. Gotta provide cover plates. And then workspace of not less than 30 inches wide by 36 inches deep by 72 inches high shall be provided in front of electrical service equipment. The equipment is more than 30 inches wide. This workspace to be the width of the equipment. Breakers were not labeled. Softball, one knockout is open and the panel has no breaker. And those are our issues and we're gonna get those fixed. The reason I've asked the leagues to come in is because of some of the other issues in the concession stands. There's a bunch of pictures that the health department took on some issues as far as cleanliness and food being left over, grease in the fryers, the soda machines. I think there was still fluid in the lines, refrigerators dirty and freezers frozen over, just a variety of things. So what was asking everybody in here to do is to help us come up with a solution so we can move forward and I don't know if y'all need to watch and we need to watch or how this needs to move forward. So, open it up to everybody and see what thoughts we have out there. I know, the health department and the fire department are gonna be inspecting them often, so, and I know with the deep fryer in, was it softball, Matt?
Softball.
The deep fryer, that, to have a deep fryer in there is gonna require, both a hood and, the hood vent and the suppression system for that. And I don't believe there's space for it either.
We don't have, I don't think there's enough room for the vent hood, what they have, how they have it laid out right now. There's not enough room. And
Okay.
it's next to the sink, which if water were to splash into that, it could be a huge issue.
So how do we move forward?
So we were told from the prior health person that we could have the fryer. That's why we had the fryer in there.
Okay,
And I know that now, I know that's been an issue when we've talked about that.
okay,
I think some of those pictures that were taken are probably after a softball tournament that was a travel ball tournament that it's not her, not us, it was a individual people that did that. I know that after I left, everything was cleaned.
Mhm.
I know that I did help on a Saturday, but I did not finish the tournament down. I mean, I can go up there and clean that stuff, but I'm pretty sure that's what that's probably from. Because that looked like nasty banana pudding in that picture, and I know they serve banana pudding.
That was
Or
actually
something.
it was after leaving after
Yeah, it was
softball season too.
2 months ago.
Okay.
Or a month or so ago.
Okay, so that's something that we need to address is, someone that is outside of y'all are using the concession.
And sometimes the high school, like, I'm not sure what it's from. I know the high school coaches sometimes use it too, like during their, outside of her and outside of me. I've had to go in there, even before the tournament, I had to clean up some from them, when they used it.
And things like that makes it unfair for them and for me to do my job properly, because then I cannot permit them when things like that take place.
Sure.
Because it's filthy. I check everything. I open cabinets. As you saw, there's, mouse droppings, with the fluids in the lines, and then, who's responsible for taking off the nozzles from the soda machines?
Mhm.
And then are they flooded, whenever they are reused again, do they bleed those lines and stuff, or do they just start using them again? Those nozzles, I require them in restaurants for them to be cleaned and bleached and all that stuff when they, after a night or something in the restaurant. So that's the same thing that has to be done in the concession stands as well. Those nozzles be taken off and, and then there's syrup on the floor that's drawing rodents, that's drawing insects. And there's openings at the bottom where anything can come in. So it's unfair to them, it's unfair to the parks that they have to come in and then clean whatever's left over. And that was on all 3 concession stands. Moffett, I don't know how often, my grandson plays, he would play baseball as well, and I never saw that open, but there was tons of food in those, refrigerator, freezer, molded, this, that, and it's like, I know some parents come to, they're tired, they don't feel like doing this, they don't feel like doing that. Somebody needs to be responsible, either have a main person, delegate, okay, somebody's gonna do this week, next week we're gonna have so-and-so, because then the same people do the same thing, they get burnt out. Also, there's, product on the floor, things shouldn't be directly on the floor, they should be 6 inches above the ground. Somebody has to be responsible. If parents don't wanna do that, maybe have an incentive, whatever funds they have, they make, okay, you know what? We'll pay X amount of dollars if you clean this by the end of the night or by the end of the week, blah, blah, blah. That goes for restrooms, because some of the restrooms are filthy as well. Just something, because it's not fair to the kids, it's not fair to the elderly, it's not fair to anybody, because somebody gets punished if they say, you know what, you're not gonna use concessions because this
Right.
continues to happen.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll have to pull permits, and it's not fair at all,
I agree.
to anyone.
Yeah, and that's not the goal today, is to
Right.
shut it down.
Right.
I'm just looking for a way forward that we
So
can
it
all
can get
agree on.
better.
I
And
can
the-
tell you how we do it, like, so, when our season starts, I've done this for for many years. And I'm just gonna be on my way out, and so, I'm speaking for at this moment how we've
Sure.
done it. We go in there every year at the start of season and we clean, whether they've been in there before us, because the high school uses it before us,
Sure.
whether they've been in there or not. We scrub the cabinets, there's sometimes it's mat droppings. We try to, our equipment room is connected to the concession stand. So my husband and I try to go up there and put some mouse traps or do some mouse things or whatever. But, we cleaned all the floor this year. My husband and I bleached the floor before we started. We did it mid-season as well. And then after it was over, I did go clean. I'm not saying that it was perfect. I did clean. I made sure the oil was out. I made sure the freezers were cleaned out, things like that. But we usually go in, we clean it, and that's how we start. Now, after I'm out, we only are in there from the start of May, end of April, till July, the 1st of July normally. And then there's other people in and out during
Okay. Yeah.
And they're in there from probably January to April.
April, just depends on.
We kind of piggyback each other sometimes.
Yeah.
And like everything that's inside the concession stand, as far as the refrigerators, all the appliances, you know, that Summer League has bought, Summer Girls Fast Pitch has bought, that we just leave it so that they can use it.
Sure.
And whoever, I mean, sometimes in the past, we have taken that out, but we've tried to make an agreement with them. And then before, I know there's, you know, new changes, but Melissa would always try to get with us and say, I'm in the softball tournament this weekend. Is there anything that you need to get out? This is who it is. Do you want to leave your stuff or whatever? But for the past few years, we've left everything.
What kind of guidelines can we set in place, Cynthia, I mean, for inspection
Whoever
before or
makes,
after?
to me, whoever
or-
makes the arrangements as far as travel teams coming in, if they're, you know, if they're the ones cleaning at the end of their season or whenever they're done, whoever's coming in during the summer, I mean, if it's Matt or, you know, whoever's making the arrangement, there has to be rules. They have to be cleaned and, you know, this way, at the end of the complete season, everything's completely done and, you know, it just has to be cleaned. I mean,
Sure.
there's stuff, especially like in Little League, I remember when I was doing it before, I mean, it was immaculate. And when I was telling them like, oh yeah, Little League's immaculate, you know, and they're looking at me like, are we talking about the same concession, you know? And I guess when Melissa Lee was over it, you know, I guess she was a stickler and liked things in a certain way. And sometimes people don't like that or being told, but it was done properly. And when I went in there, I'm like, wow, I was stunned on how it looked. And, you know, when I opened like the pickle thing, I don't know if it was Corey or what, there was like a bitten pickle. It wasn't like, okay, let me just cut this in half for a small child. It was bit. And I'm like, oh no. Yeah.
I just think that, but that's, oh my goodness.
Did the travel leagues have to pay a deposit to rent those? Matt, do you
I'm
know?
not for sure if they do or not,
Because
so.
if they don't, maybe they should start. And that
I
way
think
it's
they
not
do.
clean.
I
I
think
wanna
they
say they
do.
do.
I'm thinking so too.
Yeah,
And
I'm pretty sure they have to.
I'm
Do they not get their deposit back if they don't clean it then? Because I mean, like if you rent the armory.
There it
everything
is.
else-
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's two of them.
Oh,
Or three.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess the leagues have a key to this, the leagues have a key
and that was
year
in Little
round.
League.
Do we have a key to the
Yeah.
concessions? Yes, sir.
The gate codes change every once in a
Yeah,
while,
the gate
but
codes we don't have. They changed those.
We have a key to the concession stand.
I mean, that's the only way I see, if y'all aren't there, I mean, the key's gonna have to be checked out and checked in. And when it gets checked in, somebody's gonna have to go inspect it. And you're gonna have to have some kind of guidelines of penalties if it's not clean. If we're gonna have to send the park guys to go clean it, somebody needs to reimburse them, the county for doing it, so.
And with that potato thing, I mean, Lord knows how long
Oh, no,
that had been being used, and then that's just
I like potatoes.
caked on bacteria.
That's what we kept it.
It would-
Basically.
I would also wonder if we need to do,
We use any of it.
after those come in, and I know this is gonna put a burden on Cynthia, but an inspection by the health department after.
That's how it used to be. Like, when we first started, they would come in and inspect it.
Mhm.
The past few years, no one has, like, I'll call them and say,
But how
I'll be all
often would she have to
prepared,
do
stressing
that?
out.
how often would she have to? I mean, is this like after every game when y'all clean it up or?
No, she
No.
would come in,
Every 6 months, right?
whenever we would start.
Yeah, whenever they would start, she would call, or they would call, and then I would go. This was, when I was doing it.
But I mean, this looks like just the way it is, that's an issue from day to day,
Mhm.
from games. I mean, somebody needs to be inspecting it daily.
So what's supposed to happen is somebody's supposed to have a food handler's
Yes.
license that's in there.
Every person in the concession should have a food handlers, and if that person with the food handlers isn't there, then there has to be a backup. So, so
Did
this
you
way,
say-
somebody with a food handler should be in the concession stand,
At least one person or every person?
at least one person.
Okay.
And if that
And that-
person's not gonna be there, then there has to be a backup, like if they're taking different shifts, somebody's gonna be there in the morning, and then, that person's gonna leave, okay, then the afternoon person, at least one person has to have, a food handlers on that second shift.
Are the guidelines actually posted on the walls of those concession stands? I don't remember whenever I was there.
So what I do is during our league, I put a list of everything that needs to be checked off daily, everything that needs to be done daily, all the like little things. That's what I do when I'm
Okay.
during our.
That's good.
In our season, I usually, who is assigned to work the concession stand, I let them know what needs to be done with all the extra stuff. We need to wipe everything down
And I
every
think
night.
I brought that up to Matt as well, like put y'all's stuff, on there, make a list of what you want done, cause that's their department of, and how you want it at the end of the day, and this way, when each season starts, or when whoever comes in, they know what to look at, and they know what they're supposed to do. Cause some people just don't know, or don't, some people are young, that they come in and volunteer their time to do concessions, and I'm a step-by-step person, so some people just need to see it,
And I think that's our biggest find is getting people to do it because they
Yeah.
think, I'm not doing this, or
Yeah.
I already paid my dues.
yeah, or it's the same ones that do it all the time, and they get
And
burnt
I think
out.
that's where we're at, is that
Yes.
we're burnt
And that
out.
hadn't changed in the 30 years that I've, known about that. You get a certain small group of people who are willing to volunteer,
That's it.
and that's the one you get every time to volunteer.
And they get burned out.
And they
Or
get
if it is the same ones, just rotate them out, like, okay, well, you're not gonna be on this part this time, you're gonna do this, and then just rotate them out to do different duties,
Then you get the call that these people that signed up didn't show up.
That's happened.
Can you come in?
All the time.
We do have a group of teenage girls that we try to call on to say, hey,
That's good.
can you come? Even if sometimes we're paying a whole lot of people, but I can't do it myself.
And it is a lot of work to do stuff like that, to do
And that's
concessions.
another thing, if I'm not there at the end of the night, I can guarantee you I'm gonna walk in the next day to it being disgusting.
Mhm.
When I work and, I don't need to stay till 11 o'clock every single night of the week, because I'm old and it's to me now, but.
Ours in our concession stand during our season, usually parents,
Yeah.
because the players are not allowed to go in there and play. So this season, everybody kind of helped out with all the duties and stuff in there, so it really ran pretty smoothly
Okay.
this past season.
You could put teeth in it,
Yeah.
if whoever doesn't clean it, everything, it happens enough, just do away with it,
Well, I think the deposit would also put teeth in it. If they don't get their deposit back, or if they want their deposit back, they're gonna wanna do it, and if not, Parks Department gets it.
make the deposit big enough, to make it worthwhile.
That's right. You can make it bigger and bigger, whatever it takes.
That's gonna be the only,
Now, this food handler, that's something new to me. You said you was old. I never heard of that. Was it that way when you were there?
Yes.
Had a food handler license or?
It's come up in the last
In the last probably
10 years.
10 years.
EPA, good grief.
Mhm.
So what is the process of getting this food handler certificate or?
You can, there's a website online, and it's probably a 2-hour course. And the reason we just require at least one person, just because there's so many that come in and out, volunteers and stuff, and especially with kids and everything that come in. So at least one designated person has to have it, and they have to be present in the concession stand.
So that in that, they can probably print off the things that you actually inspect for, make sure that everyone knows that's in there, what should be done.
So can you help the Parks Department come up with that checklist for what you need in that? And then what y'all expect? You can put that together.
What about the traveling tapes?
If it went back to a concession stands instead of a restaurant, is there, I don't know, many protocols?
You're supposed to have that.
I mean, as far
I
as
would
what?
think so.
Packaged food instead of, stoves, chili fryers, barbecue pits. Just selling chips and candy bar. Do you still have to have?
Any consumable product, really.
So, I guess on the traveling teams and whatnot, y'all could verify that someone has that food handler certificate before they even
Okay.
lease it, and then
I mean, I would be the one, I would check for that. I mean, it would help that if they did it prior, but I mean, I would make sure that somebody has a food handlers once I come and inspect.
Does the travel teams have to have you know how to get the health inspection? Do the travel teams have to get that every time?
That sounds like it, or 10 days. 10 days would be event.
Yeah, if they're doing an event, they have
I
to
know
they have to get a permit 10 days prior to their.
I don't think.
and that's something that, Matt, you can tell them, you have, before we can issue this, allow you to lease it, you have to go get the permit from the health department if you're using the concessions.
And it has to be 10 business days.
And then we can't let them use it.
10 business days after they acquire it.
10 business days before their tournament or before, yeah.
The food handler's license, it's only $7.95 and it lasts for 3 years.
Do you do that?
I have a question, like if we do, like, when season starts in January, we see mouse droppings, we did see that, and I kind of put some traps in, but spraying everything down. Do we, when we're using it during the concession stand, do we get mouse traps and all that, or do we call the parks?
Call the park.
Okay,
Yeah, there are facilities which should be taken care of. all
okay.
that.
And if you see holes in the building where they can get through the doors or something like that.
Yeah, there is
That
several.
again needs to be brought up to the parks department
Okay.
so that
And we have exterminate.
those can be
Okay.
sealed.
Sounds great.
There should not be an opening for rodents to be able to come
Okay.
through.
Yeah,
The
there's
next
lots
thing
of
you'll have a
holes.
rattlesnake inside that thing.
Wait, no.
That's my ability.
If you
Okay.
keep it clean, you're gonna have less.
If you don't have the mice, the snake can't really come do the mice.
If we still quit buying the pickles and put it
Oh,
back.
I'm so sorry.
You knew
I
that was
just
coming.
couldn't.
I knew that was her. I knew that. I was like, that's okay.
I don't know if anyone.
He said he doesn't know what that is. I said, I don't know if anybody can tell what that is.
I couldn't tell what it was.
You don't know for sure if they take if you take a deposit for the concession.
I'd have to give it Leanne on that.
For some reason, I'm thinking there's not a deposit.
We don't treat it like the building.
I think there is a deposit, because I think that the last people who had it told me they have to have it cleaned or they're not gonna get their deposit back.
Okay.
That's how it was we haven't hosted one in like maybe 7 years, and that's how we had to do it. We had to go get the permit, we had to go pay the deposit and clean the concession, and somebody actually went to see it, the concession, before we got our deposit back. But that's been like maybe 8 years ago, because we posted one here.
So if there's a deposit, wouldn't that come to your office?
It would, but if it's receipted under Parks Rentals and, Leanne would be the one that would do that and send that paper. So I don't know, I don't
You would
recall
know.
seeing one that says concession.
But you'd be the
deposit.
one also that would be
Would have
making
to,
reimbursement.
yeah, and
of
we
that.
haven't,
And you haven't seen that, so.
no. We do them all the time for their armory deposit
Yeah.
or swimming pool deposit, I mean, that kind
Leanne
of
just
stuff.
texted no. so
So we need to find,
Thursday
yeah,
night.
so we need to find that. I mean, somebody's scamming you.
I was gonna say,
They did it for us, yeah.
Y'all remember how much the deposit was?
I wanna say it was like 200. It was for my husband's travel ball team. And it was like a one day, I wanna say it was like 200, 250. It wasn't that
But you said that
much.
was 8 years ago, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
wow.
when it was still
Yes.
Melissa
Oh,
and
yeah.
Larry,
Yes.
and I do know that back at one point, it's been, there were like rentals for
Sure.
like weekend ball and stuff like that. Cause later I had questioned, what happened, we don't do this anymore?
Right.
Well, somebody said other places were cheaper. So, but they're nicer facilities, you know, but they're complexes now.
The
So y'all had to
complex
furnish
is
your own
cheaper
cleaning
to-
supplies as well, correct? I mean,
Yes, we buy our own
We buy our
cleaning, we
own.
buy our own cleaning supplies.
We do everything ourselves in the concession
Yes.
stand pretty much.
But
as
you,
far as that goes.
you do make a profit.
Yes.
We pay what we do is we pay our, umpires, we use the money to pay for our umpires and then fill up keep and things like that, because we haven't had a lot of support financially to do things to the field. I think that's probably changing, but in the past, we have not.
I know we did very well whenever I was there because of the people that were interested in donating money and things. You don't always get that, but there are times that there are people, like you said, that do give quite a bit of money to make it work.
Yeah, we haven't had that in the past few years, but it is, let me say that. Maybe last year we've had some things happen, but.
In Booster Club for the high school, we buy everything for the concession stand at the beginning and then, we pay back whatever was used in that. We use it for whatever the coach's budget cannot pay for, like catcher's gear, bats, all the things, hotels. So it's a great fundraiser for them because you do make money every night whenever we use it. So I'd really love to continue using it if we're able to, but yes.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we do everything we need to using it.
And I'm all for continuing it. I'm not opposed.
Okay,
I just want us all together to kind of work this out,
yes.
and move forward on it. So I think that communication is gonna be what gets us moving forward on this. So, I think we should set some guidelines today. And it sounds like a lot of it, other than, Little League, sounds like a lot of it is the travel,
Right.
that come in. I don't know that the Little League field is used for other than Little League. Is
And
that?
I'm not saying we keep it 100%
No.
top, but,
No,
because I'm telling you, there are times I come in and I'm like, oh my
Sure.
gosh.
Yeah.
And I've had to spend a whole night, Wednesday nights up there cleaning because
right,
I wasn't there closed and it's done this and I'm having to
yeah.
do it myself, but,
Because
even with the board, sometimes it's not always taken care
Yeah. I'm not opposed to a deposit either for everybody that uses it.
Are y'all?
I'm opposed.
And then I think their deposit for the leagues, and the boosters, it would be a full year deposit or a full season deposit. One deposit for the full season, not for every individual.
No,
And then if there's issues, communicate those issues back and forth. If y'all are having issues with something that we need to take care of, we need to know about that and we can take care of it. And then if they're having issues,
Like the holes that y'all talked
Yeah.
about.
and if they're having issues with cleanliness or anything like that, it's a direct communication about, hey, we found this, to be taken care of. So,
are you said restrooms a while ago, do we not, the Parks Department, doesn't think, don't y'all clean all restrooms, or is that part of the concession stand? Or the league
Part
that's
of
supposed to do that?
it is, in the past, we used to clean Moffitt's restrooms and now I think the high school's doing that.
What about girls softball and Little League?
Yeah.
That's
The
league
schools-
or?
of.
y'all?
We take care of it when we
Y'all
have
do.
it.
Okay,
We supply them with the toilet paper and the hand towels.
okay. And so we're not, again, seems to be the traveling, that's the main
problem.
I know that there was a situation that happened towards the end of our thing. So one thing that I think sometimes people don't realize is kids jump that fence in the middle of the night and things happen. So the situation happened, I'm pretty sure we were going to our All-Star tournament, so I'm not saying it wasn't my people that did it. I wasn't contacted about it until later on, but, I know that the hospital said it wasn't them, but I think that sometimes those kids, because they do it while we're in league, they'll jump to that, we'll kick them out because they're misbehaving, because that's a big issue we're having during softball league, is having some misbehavior and just things going on. Well, they jump the back of that fence and get in and hang out. And I've heard, I work at the junior high, and I've heard the kids talking about going in the softball field in the middle of the night. So.
Yeah.
I'm not saying what happened a few weeks ago is what.
Yeah.
From those kids. I'm just saying, I think that sometimes that happens as well.
So razor wire on top.
I know, right? I'm telling y'all, I can't, it's a full-time job to keep those kids. Those kids are.
People, the kids out of razor wire. Oh my goodness, cameras.
Have y'all, and I know used to the schools had an officer, a resource officer that worked the games. I don't know so much about, oh, I know, I did work some baseball games when I was a resource officer. And softball. Do they have officers there?
We don't. We usually, during the high school games, they do have to have an administrator on duty. So usually it's either a principal, assistant, or a teacher that they'll have as an admin there. That's the only one that we've had for our games.
We did contact, Counts and talked to him about it and told him, this is what's going on, what can we do? I mean, we can pay an officer $50 an hour, but he said we would need two, to come up. But we're paying them from 6 to 11 every night, and then, and that's $50 an hour. Well, then it will be $100 an hour for two. Well, what he had said that he would have his officers come by and patrol, like if they're not on a call, then we can come up there. And it did happen sometimes.
I understand that, yeah.
And I think for the school one, because we usually start about 5, we're done no later than 8. So we usually don't have, we usually don't have the problem of the vandalism or anything, or the kids going in there. Just like those batting cages, sometimes those kids will go in there, and I have told those kids, y'all need to come out. So we're trying to barricade it during season so they don't go back there, but we usually don't have that, but the umpires do require an admin on call to be there, because they do want to find out who it is before they even start the games.
Okay, and I did hear about some issues this summer with some kids that were causing problems in there.
We kick them out. We can tell them not to come back. They'll jump the back fence. They'll sneak in. They all know me because I work at the junior high. It's mainly junior high kids who is the problem. They know me, so they know if I'm not there, then they're gonna get away with it.
Good.
Unless, they all became to know Justin McCutcheon real well.
Yeah, I heard
Yes, he
about
makes his
that.
presence.
So have y'all called the police on them?
Yes. They run, or, we can tell them we want a trespassing thing on them. Towards the end is when Count said, okay, this is what we can do. This, you can do a trespassing warning. A few years, it's probably been, I don't know. There was one kid we really had issues with. He's banned from the park for life, I think now, but I would call the cops. They'd put a trespassing warrant on him, they'd take him out. It was no big deal. But we didn't have the problems. Probably the last 2 years is when we've started having so many problems with the things, like kids just running through stealing phones, or like little kids' phones. Like maybe a little girl has a phone, a little junior high kid will run through and steal it. Well, I'll go get the phone back and give it to them and tell them to get out. But it's more, I mean, we've had one kid cuss Justin from the back of the park all the way to the front in front of everybody, every language you could ever imagine. We just can't have those things. Can the cops really do anything about that?
Yes,
You know, I don't know.
Yeah. call them.
But, and it was, there was a few times that the cops would stay there the whole night, and then there was not many times, depending on who was on shift, is that they were gonna
Sure.
be there.
And it, depending on their calls too. their calls.
Yes, exactly, of course.
Well, since the county owns the property, we would have to actually sign the criminal trespass warrant, but you could fill out a reason why, and then you could sign those. So if someone's acting stupid, call the police on them, get them out of there, make a statement.
Okay. And you know, when Melissa was there, I would call and say, I had trouble with this kid, this is who it was, and this is what happened, and she would just take care of it. You know?
Can you, will the school, I mean, I know it's not a school, never mind.
Yeah,
School
I'm not
wouldn't,
part of the school,
because
so they
it's not
can't
part
do
of,
anything.
it's not a school event, so.
I mean, even if they're having trouble, if y'all had trouble tonight, you know, if you know the kid, get a trespass warrant on them, bring it up here for somebody to sign it.
Yeah, to Matt.
Yeah. We've even thought about making it to where if they're like under 16, they can't come in without a parent.
Okay.
You're putting then you're putting those kids who really come in and watch the ball game and sit still, and there's not a lot of them, but there are some, then you're saying, oh, you can't come either. But then what we have is they'll hang out in the outfield. We'll kick them out of inside of the gate, and then they hang out on the outside.
Sure.
Or they'll go stand at the Pixie Guild and yell into the, we'll have to go kind of walk from there. But last year we had board members that would literally set their chair down by the bathrooms. Because a lot of the problems happen in between the bathrooms, like the old bathrooms. I call them old bathrooms because they were bathrooms when I was in high school and played softball, and the new bathrooms. I know it's just like a building. I don't know what's in there right now, but
It's storage.
Storage, okay.
Chalk and stuff.
okay. So that building, they get between that building and the new bathrooms, and they'll fight. We've caught them smoking weed. We've caught a kid, what we are pretty sure was selling stuff back there. And one thing that helped was they put wire things where the kids can't get between, because we pretty much caught two junior high kids basically having sex between there. This year is vaping and smoking weed in the bathrooms. That was our biggest deal, was smoking weed in the bathrooms. So get in there, and one day I went back there, I can't go to the boys' bathroom, but I could see they were in there, and I ran about 15 of them out. They were all in there smoking weed.
Don't just run them out, call the police.
Well, we called the police, but before they could get there, they were all gone.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, we told them.
But do you know them all?
Not all of them, but some of them, I told them the names,
Okay. All right.
so,
Well, you're trying.
yeah.
So they need to come up with some rules and regulations and bring it back to us.
And I know y'all are having a hard time getting people to be on the board.
Nobody wants to be, well, everybody wants to be on the board.
They just don't want to
They
be
don't
on the
want to
board.
do the work.
Right, yeah, and I
And
get
so when they
things.
see that there's more to it, we are adding a few more spots just so we can have more help, because
Sure.
we're literally there every single night from 5 o'clock. I'm there from 4 o'clock to 11 o'clock every single night.
Yeah.
And usually I'm having to take a kid home because their parents have just not cared, and they are there, and I'm not gonna leave a kid there by themselves that is 12 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Like I said, I understand that it's not at the top. It's the people that come in and help that don't, they want to do the minimum.
and probably
I gotta
me
be
being there so
consistent.
much probably makes me not pay as close attention to cleaning as I should, but.
And
I
it
know
shouldn't
that's
just
when
fall on
they're-
you, it should
Right.
be the whole.
Everybody,
Yeah.
yes, as a whole, yes.
Would y'all mind getting together with the Parks and Health Department and coming up with some, we kind of have a base now to kind of go off of how to move forward. Would y'all mind getting together and kind of completing that and then bringing it back to us?
Yeah.
I think we have time right now before, January, so. That's why.
So is there anything inside the concession stand that needs to be like, do we need to take care of this non-compliance besides the issues we've talked about?
A deep fryer at softball needs to be taken out.
Right, besides that, but I'm talking about like, so I think me and May had said that it was up to code, things were up to code. Are we?
No.
So what we're doing on our part, we're gonna update all the wiring, get y'all more plugs for all your refrigerators and freezers. That way you can do without the extension cords. That was a violation.
Blocking the breaker boxes.
Yeah, you can't be within 3 feet of the breaker box with any appliance.
Anything.
Yeah, so
You have to be able to get to
we
it.
can go over everything that's been,
What we would like to do, and what we have discussed, it just has it is to take our equipment room away and just have more room, because we're pretty. There used to be 2 fridges, their fridge and our fridge, but we did take one out.
Messed up.
Yeah, so,
I'll tell y'all, I had to take the stand-up freezer out of Little League because it was frozen shut. When we were looking at everything, I pulled it open and it was just solid ice. So after that, it started melting and leaking out, so I had to put it outside. It's probably
And the
no good
boys-
anyway, but
the
yes,
boys still outside.
more than likely it's the seal around the outside.
Okay.
That's no good, but probably needs a new freezer.
Well, they're just gonna have a change of people. At the moment, it's Nick Barbosa. Oh, but they're gonna have a change of. They should be voting on their own position. He's gonna.
Other than the oil and the fire, is anything else that need to go in there and clean
So-
right now?
I would like for whoever to get all the food out of the refrigerators, clean those, and then we will clean the floors and you clean
So what
everything
I would
else.
do is not put in there, so that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, there's food in all 3 of them.
I mean, I don't mind going under this week and cleaning that, but I don't have the new date code. I just have the concessions in.
So we'll get you.
Okay.
Well, let me go do it, because it's not your food.
Well, it's not your computer.
Well, but I know who it was, I'll make that.
It's no one person, that's the whole, but the whole thing is.
Yeah, teeth, but whoever's pays the $500 sometime.
And when I left,
Yeah.
this, and a list, yeah.
Depends on which one it is
Put
traveling.
all the food in there.
Look at We got.
Yes.
How soon would they get a deposit back? What length of time? Because it needs to come back to court.
Oh, it might be as well, yeah. That like it's actually.
It's basically like a refund. But we have to have, like Leanne normally would call us and say, hey,
Whatever we need to do.
so-and-so cleaned up, so get the deposit back. So then we process the deposit in weekly checks. That we don't do checks every day, but we have like utility packets or whatever, and it would be processed through that. But that, because it doesn't come out of county funds, it doesn't have to come before it's a refund of what they've already done. But that would be, they have to call us and let us know. We won't, like, we don't look at the papers and see, okay, the event was this day and they automatically submit it back. We wait for Leanne or whoever calls and say, this is clean, they get their deposit back, because we've had multiple of other things that they didn't clean and they didn't get their deposit back.
Right.
So,
The nozzles, the hoses.
So how's, is a month okay for y'all? As far as the timeline?
So sorry.
October 15th would be, we have, a meeting October 1st, or is it?
yes.
Yeah, October 1st, and then our next meeting is October 15th. Can y'all do October 15th? Is a month enough time to put
I
something
will
together?
actually be in a training, in a THA training.
Can we nominate a spokesperson? I like snuck out of the junior high today. I work with behavior kids, so it's not easy for me to go.
Okay,
And Justin is out of town, so.
okay. Or we can wait until November 5th, either way.
That would probably be better
November
for me
5th,
too.
okay.
Whenever it's convenient for the health lady.
Yes, we'll go over with
That's what
Cynthia.
I'm talking about.
Yes,
Because she's the one that's gonna have to set us her ways.
yes.
All right, and, we'll look at, do you think it'll get used between now and then, Matt?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There
We
wasn't
can-
any, I think there was only one travel ball this year, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we said no to them. What was it, Corey? What
That's a
do they
rag
call
ball.
that? Rag ball, yeah.
Mhm,
It's where they drink and
mhm,
They were just gonna trash the place and
mhm.
play ball.
we don't do rag ball games anymore there.
And there are some fields around here that are cheaper to rent, so I
Tear
have a feeling that some of the travel ball may go to those places.
They like doing those at Winston and we said no this year because of the poles.
Yeah.
They're falling apart, so we kind of shut everything down on that.
Okay.
So we get those poles taken down.
So we have time for everything, including the deposit. And I'm making a note of your suggestion on that, Sean.
That puts it together.
Well, and my point to that is, if you make it 250,
Yeah.
a lot of people's gonna say it's worth it, not have to clean up.
Right.
But
Well, you're right.
I just,
That's true. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah, we've seen that at the Armory.
Be nice if it was 600.
No, just did.
Cause they'll get it back if they clean
Does would the Little League or the school have a problem with that? Cause you wouldn't see that deposit back for y'all 3 months, I guess.
We've never had to pay a deposit.
Yeah, that's us too.
I
And it would have to
board's
be,
probably gonna grab about it, but if you require it, you require it. I think.
Well, if we
they're
do
gonna
it for
grab
one, we nearly have to do it.
it. Right.
yeah.
That's the thing.
We actually have a booster club meeting next week, so I can bring it up and let them know that's gonna be a possibility that we're gonna have to pay.
it. No,
Which
you would, and you would get it back
If
if
we- yes.
everything was cleaned up and,
Okay,
you know, since you're not just out of it.
yes, and I think it wouldn't be a problem, because Booster Club would pay for it,
Mhm.
would pay for that. So I think it'd be, yeah, and
Saving the
that way, yes, and that
it.
way
Yeah,
everybody
that's what I was
can
thinking, save it.
continue to do their part. Like I said, the parents were
Yeah.
pretty great this year, so
That's good.
hopefully again this year.
All right, well, we'll come back to on November 5th for this. I appreciate y'all being here. and
Okay,
talking to
thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm gonna skip 13 for now and go down to 14. Meet Tech Site Engineer from Scurry County. I apologize for putting y'all somewhere down and making y'all sit through everything.
no problem at all.
So we have Carrie Hart and Anthony Boucher.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all coming in.
So I just wanted to come by and
Thank
introduce
you.
myself. I'm here in Snyder as of March, so I know Carrie does a really good job of keeping me in the loop and coordinating with y'all on everything. So like I said, I just wanted to come by and introduce myself and let you know I'm available for whatever you need from us. Another thing I wanted to kind of mention was we've got our Rural Transportation Committee meeting coming up. I know Judge Hicks has come to one or two of those. This is kind of a new deal that we're doing in Abilene. It gives the county, our 13 counties in the Abilene district, it gives the counties kind of an opportunity to voice their support, nominate projects. This coming meeting, I believe, is on November 13th. It's a voting meeting, so this is one of the important ones. So I just wanted to encourage participation. Judge Hicks, if you're not able to make it, you're actually able to appoint
Okay,
somebody to vote in your place.
okay,
So,
all right.
anyhow, that's all I had.
I know y'all have some projects, I almost said products, but right? Can you let the court know what projects y'all have?
So we've got the Avenue E overpass is progressing pretty well. They are planning on being done by Christmas. That seems a little ambitious, but, I've worked with this contractor before and they are
excellent. They've done a really good job and they are fast. So, I'm not gonna say that they won't have it done by Christmas, but that does seem a little ambitious.
Okay.
We've got some overlay projects coming through on 84. One just recently led, I believe, last month. But given the nature of the work, it probably will be next summer before they're able to get started, just to kind of wait on the temperatures to rise. It's kind of a specialized stone matrix asphalt that we're getting. It's really some of the best mix that you can get. The only problem with it is the temperature window is narrow. So, we may be looking at May-ish before we're able to kick that one off. We've got the cable barrier coming in from one end of Scurry County to the other. That's,
I mean, it's a great safety product.
it's a great safety tool, but it puts the strain on the maintenance. I'm sure we'll be coordinating some incidents, with the county.
Yeah.
Some of that.
And we did get city and county trained. They had an opportunity to go to Abilene for the manufacturer to put on a safety training. And I know fire department, sheriff's office, PD, they all sent individuals to that safety training, so.
I think that's the majority for Scurry County, right?
Arcade Halls,
180.
Mill and Field,
Yeah, well, that's the 84.
84.
So we've got another one on 180, but again, that's probably another one that'll be over the summer, next summer. We just finished one up, or we're in progress on finishing one up on 180 at the Fisher County line. So I don't know if any of y'all have driven out that way and seen that one, so.
We're gonna be through it to 1269.
Like,
I get calls on that every day.
no, hopefully 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
So that's been a thorn in our side for a little while.
Yeah.
We, to be honest, we spent more time fighting to get the funding for that than we have being able. We've been trying to get that thing fixed since before I got here. So, we were able to secure the funding. We're trying to get that thing more or less Band-Aided up until we did get a construction project program for next summer to finalize that one. So Carrie's crew is working and they've done a really good job of trying to get that thing to last us until that project comes in. So, that one kind of blew up on us and has been
I'm pretty
a
sure
fun one.
if we get done, I probably won't get my crew back up there to do anything. They won't even go check roads up there if I ever let them leave, so.
So I get calls every day about that. So that's not nice.
I think we've been there, it's April, May, it's between it and 6/12. It's been a long summer.
Yeah.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, at least for the interim, so.
Just trying to get it safe enough that people can drive it. It's not finished quality. I mean, it's not gonna be that way forever, but just until the contractor can get there and do a full rehab on it, so.
We got it started and then lost some of our more experienced blade operators, so that's also been a bit of a challenge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In there. So on those, we do road use agreements with, these big companies that come in and do all of that. Does the state do anything like that with them, where if they damage them, they?
Yeah, we do. I don't know that
We had one when we did the wind towers, when the wind turbines came in, we had one with them and also with the solar farm.
Yeah.
But those and they settled on that. I believe they finally settled an amount and did reimburse some of it.
Okay, good.
Honestly, the damage we're getting is from that calcium plant that's coming from the west. And then a lot of the belly dumps coming in and out of that, flex space pit right before you drop off the cap. I think that's that heavy truck traffic, I think, is what is doing the majority of our damage, because they come out of that calcium plant. I forget what that is. It 2226 that runs in front of Glen Herring's and
think that's right.
It ties Possum Hollow Road in Borden County back to 1269. They run that all day long, with those trucks hauling that calcium out of that calcium plant, and they turn and come down 1269, so.
Yeah, that, some of that with the heavy loads and then the really wet spring.
Yeah.
Kind of decoupled into a storm, so.
Yeah.
We really did not need all 12 inches of rain up there the other day. We were doing great until that happened, but
Right.
they'll get it fixed and it'll be good, but that slowed it down. We're hoping 2 to 3 weeks we'll be out of there.
Those trucks don't jump down the cap, do they?
Mhm.
Really?
They do, yes, sir.
Wow.
That's how come that the sign is there for the trailer to hit the railroad track, because
Yeah.
people are calling equipment.
They'll high center over it.
I sent them.
Can't
Yes.
imagine trying to take a load down that.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, we do have it oversized restricted. It is restricted to oversized loads where they, ever since it was several years ago, they had that truck shared the drive line and it was there for like a week. Cause they tried to go up the cap with some insane weight length that they couldn't make.
Yeah.
So it is oversized restricted.
Okay. What's the grade on that?
I don't know off the top of my head.
I wanna say it's like 6%.
Okay.
We're having discussions whether we want a contractor to work on going off of it and fix the pavement that way, or if they want us. I'm not in favor of our crew doing it. I just have visions of rollers going off of the cap rock, so.
When I first came to work for the county, they had an ice storm and they sent us over there to start blocking roads. And we had to block that one coming down and because back and we were watching the trucks and cars, the highway patrol just sliding. He got out of his car and his car just went to sliding. Sounds like.
So, and hopefully with these projects, we will have wrap and millings in Scurry County with several of these projects are gonna generate a lot of that. So we hope to have that right here, so you're not driving to Nolan County to get those this year.
Great.
So that'll be a plus.
I think we should have, we should have a surplus for sure.
So,
Okay.
lots of good things coming. We have lots of good projects to fix 84.
A lot of work planned on 84 over the next
Not
couple
that
of
it
years.
needs it. but-
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we're gonna do that perimeter trail sometime, right? I
If
was
you get in the
thinking,
middle.
if, that's where I was headed, thank you. We have some, Jeff got the last that were picked up from
Harmon.
Herman.
Okay.
So, I think we'll need some more, so I'll reach out to you
We
and
can,
see where we can get those from.
yeah, the district's
they're
pretty good
closer.
about letting us go over that, so I bet we can get that worked out.
Okay, hopefully they're closer.
Yes, hopefully, yes, sir. And not near as hard, so you don't need a chisel and
Right, yeah,
a dozer to get them
Yeah.
loaded, so,
Milling machine.
yeah. That's a rough deal, but yes, we should have those closer and we can get that worked out.
okay, I'll reach out to you on that. then.
Okay, thanks for moving those.
So you mentioned the perimeter trail. You're talking about like a park trail or?
Yeah, so out at the recreational trails, it's, a trail that's gonna go all the way around the perimeter that's gonna be using the millings, and it's gonna be about 12 feet wide. It's so that people can ride their road bikes and walk and run and all of that without getting out into traffic. So, we got a grant for that. The grant ends in June next year.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask, if y'all had put in any submissions for the grants.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and that's part of the grant was,
Awesome, cool, okay, good.
I just want to say thank you. I know I talk to you individually off and on if you have problems in your precincts, but winter weather and working events, everybody's been great to help us. I appreciate the coordination and the help with that. And if you need anything from us, let us know. But we were talking earlier, we have other counties in our district that don't have as good a relationship with county officials, but I appreciate everything you all do and the working relationship we have. So
We appreciate y'all.
it's
Yeah,
very
absolutely,
nice.
we do.
So
Absolutely. Yeah, appreciate everything y'all doing. If y'all need anything from me specifically, let me know. I'm glad to help out in this area, and I know these guys help as much as you.
Well, just one request, when you get through with 612 and 1269, if you could come out to 151. It is silted in, right, just a short area there, and the water all went over the top, over the culverts.
Okay,
This last time.
yes,
That's a lot because a lot of people came out of Armstrong.
right, well, yes, sir.
County Road 151.
Go reshape that.
That'd be great.
Yes, sir. And fix the bridge of parts on 208 and 606.
I know. I
It
get those
Yes, sir.
calls.
just keeps growing, doesn't it?
It does.
That's what we were doing this morning before the meeting. We made a couple roads and added a few more things, start to do with it.
Absolutely.
Always growing.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. It's nice to see you
I
again.
don't have business cards yet, so, but if any of y'all.
We got her number.
If y'all need me, you know how to get a hold of me, at least for the time being.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'll be there November 13th.
Okay, sounds good. All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to golf course tournament and cart fees. Bill couldn't be here this morning. He had to work. One of his employees was not able to be there today. So he asked me to go over this with y'all. The tournaments, he would like to change the 1 day fees and then the 2 day fees. 1 day fees from $1,340 to $1,500. The 2 day, the first day is $1,500, second day is $1,250. And then, doing a half day, morning only, no afternoons.
What about on, go back to the 2 day?
Yeah.
You said 15, it says 13.
Just 1340 and then 1250.
Yeah, he's proposing $1,250. I'm sorry, $1,500 and
So that went down instead
yeah,
of up.
$1,250. Let me just. I'll call him real quick. Maybe not as quick as I said.
But it's still more than what it was previously. I
Yeah.
think he's just trying to get them to come back the second day or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Hey, quick question. We're in Commissioner's Court and looking at your tournament and cart fees. Want to verify something. So the 2 day, first day is $1,500 from $1,340. Second day going down to $1,250 from $1,340 for a total of $2,750 and over $2,680. Okay, all right. So, okay.
That's a difference in how much?
It's from $2,680 to $2,750, so $70. $70.
Yeah, that includes all 12 parts.
Okay,
What,
A half day, it does not.
what was the reasoning of going down on to the 1250 from the 1340?
what's your reasoning going down the second day?
Second day, I just didn't seem like too much to ask for folks, to me, to go up, any more than that. The $70 is, the grand is, what the total would be over 2 days.
Okay.
That's fine. I just didn't want to go up too much on it. I wanted to go up some just for the volume of work that's involved, time, et cetera.
So, I mean, why wouldn't you just make them equal? The same price the second day as the first day? Is it an incentive to come back the second day or what?
Well, we really only had 1 2-day tournament. We had 2 this
Oh.
year, which is the 100 year. So those really aren't our money makers.
Got
The money makers is we have many 1-day tournaments, blessed to have those. So that's where, the 2-day tournament is just they're very unique here anyway.
Okay.
There'll probably be more as time goes on. My way of thinking was that there's been such a large increase The incentive for people to come from out of town and play that particular 2-day tournament is because, quite frankly, the payout's so large by the people who organize it. So we charge them more by effect of who they can bring to the community.
Okay,
It might not, but that was my rationale.
makes sense.
Okay.
Any
Thank
more questions?
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Bill.
Okay. Thank you.
On half day, he wants to do morning only. He feels like they lose money whenever they do the half day afternoons. So it would just be half day morning only. They wouldn't do afternoon half days tournaments. That's when people tend to get a little more wild anyway. So,
They're working you up to the afternoon.
yeah, yeah. The WTC golf team, I'm still working on that part of it, so we're gonna eliminate that. I need to talk to Dr. Beebe about that aspect of it, but we have been approached a couple of times about WTC using our course, to practice on. So.
So we'd nearly have to correlate that with what we're charging other schools.
Yeah, unless there's another interlocal that we did that was one of those type deals. So,
So $15 per golfer per day? Is that what that is?
no, unlimited golf,
So,
$15 per golfer. That was what Bill put together, but I need to reach out to, Dr. Beatty and
Wow.
get Mike
I'm
involved.
about to
in
get a
that.
golf team.
So, but eliminate that part for now, but, just worry about the tournament. Part of it,
Yeah.
tournament and cart fees.
Doesn't make a motion that we allow Bill to go up on the tournament and cart fees as presented.
Any more discussion? No? All right, all in favor? Now to accepting donations, library donations, there was a whole bunch of them, I'm not gonna list them all out. And then the senior center had, a couple of donations, 225, no, I'm sorry. 3117 and 335 for 3452, and the youth center had sports donation for 225 and a tuition donation for 500.
What does the tuition donation mean?
They donate specifically to help pay the membership for another child to attend that might not be able to afford the fee.
Okay.
So there are people who donate, and we put it specifically because they only want it used for that. They don't want it used for other stuff.
So it's actually just becoming a member of the youth center. Okay, that's great.
Judge, I'll make a motion, we accept donation to county entities as presented.
All in favor? Right, approval of the treasurer report and monthly personnel report.
See if I could get the problem.
She
did.
I'll make a motion,
said
we-
she can't wait anymore.
All right, yeah, we want her to do that.
Report and treasurer personnel report as presented.
All in favor? All right, certified revenues.
Okay, there is one for $1,000 for the voting machines, use it from Hermley ISD for use of voting machines. There's a budget amendment that's gonna place that into an expense line. There is another one for $621.96. This was from Snyder Iron and Metal for precinct 1, selling junk metal. And there is a budget amendment placed in that into a line. There is one from TAC for the claim on the annex for the water damage of $8,646.63. There is a budget amendment placing that into a line. And there is prisoner keep, total of $19,740. There is not a budget amendment for that.
Make a motion, we certify the revenues as presented. Second.
All in favor? All right. Approval of county auditor's August 2024 monthly financial report.
Make a motion, we approve the county auditor's August 2024 monthly financial report.
All in favor? Line item transfers and budget amendments.
There are a few. We're getting closer to the end of the year. So budget amendments, I'll start with them first. First one is county clerk, this is for that $1,000 we just certified. Then the sheriff's department, he's placing into his equipment some of the certified revenues, but this was from previously certified, 12,000. He purchased some new radios for their, I think that's what it was. I don't think it was, I think it was for something inside, in the dispatch office. And the youth centers, maintenance and repairs, 2,000. She finally got the rest of her bills for the sprinklers and stuff, so it's for $2,000 for there. Road and Bridge Precinct 1, the 621.96 going into maintenance, repair, miscellaneous, that was the one we just certified. Then the permanent improvement fund for the annex, 8,646.63, again, that we just certified. Those are all the budget amendments. And then the line on transfers, county judge, office supply, $274.50 out of other equipment, just to get the line fixed. County clerk equipment, $76 out of miscellaneous, 6 lines. District clerk, other equipment, 1,000 out of her equipment, 1,000 to 5,000. One of her computers had to be replaced. Precinct 2, road and bridge, utilities, 2,000 out of fuel and oil, utilities have increased. Golf course, he placed into his grounds, $2,088.30 out of other equipment, 1,000 to 5,000, tires and tubes and utilities. He will have to do another one though, because his tires and tubes are now over with that. So, where's that?
Motion to approve the line item transfers and budget amendments. Second.
All in favor? All right, accounts payable.
Accounts payable is $1,183,828.16.
All in favor? We will now be adjourned.
Get off for it to be a short meeting, sure was long.
What was the gentleman, the engineer's first name?
Anthony.